Red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, red light.
Well, folks, it's that time of the year, the spooky season, some may say. So what better to have than, well, the living dead doll herself, Annabelle. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Oh, absolute pleasure to have you here. Now, obviously, Annabelle, what we do is every guest in the Soul Sessions, we've said it before and we'll say it to the end of time. Every guest has a story, but every story has a beginning. Annabelle, how did your story begin as a wrestling fan?
Well, when I was younger, my brother used to watch WWE and I would watch it with him. So eventually we went to a show in Great Yarmouth. It was Stars and it was WAW who was performing there. And we were watching it and they mentioned the kids class. And I think it took me about a year of begging my mum and dad before I could finally do it. But I did start and I was 8.
8?
8 years old.
Whoa. That's kind of crazy. I mean, from my point of view, but like as a child, I think it just shows that glamour and admiration that wrestling has on kids. You know, you see people idolize to people like Rey Mysterio and all many other great stars. Why is it that you think wrestling has such a connection with younger audiences?
I think it's definitely the more of the entertainment value. I feel like, because like they say, when you're watching movies, there's always a story that you can follow along that helps you. And when watching wrestling, there's stories, there's characters. You always have the good guy, the bad guy, and I think it's the entertainment value that just attracts young people into watching it.
Everybody loves a good story, and I think that's the thing with across any mediums, where it's theater, movies, television, of course, wrestling. Stories always captivate people, and the characters within those stories as well captivate. And obviously, you mentioned your brother watching WWE at a younger age, and obviously yourself as well. Was there any characters at that point that you really had a connection with?
I'm obviously, I'd say people like The Undertaker because of horror vibes. But I really liked Stephanie McMahon, her character, because on the mic at a time, which is someone I don't think most people would say, but like her on the mic was so good. Also AJ Lee.
Absolutely, all of those, great characters as well. And Stephanie's a very interesting one for like. Just for like, was it about Stephanie that you feel had that great connection? Was it just that presence she had that, people thought, oh, she was just the boss's daughter, but then she has that vicious persona side that comes out?
It's the fact that when she goes out, she's so good on the mic. Like, she can literally, as soon as she steps out, she can get everyone to practically hate her, which I think just made me like, that's so cool that like literally she can turn a whole room as soon as she comes out.
Mm-hmm. Right, fair play indeed. Well, and obviously you mentioned you're starting at 8 years old. I mean, that's quite fascinating. Obviously, mostly with the UK, we have obviously like kids camps and opportunities for children to socialize and build groups and friends through wrestling as well. But for yourself, starting at 8, was it just showing that much passion, or was there any nervousness? Or you're just like the kids, like, yeah, just chuck me in, I'll have fun.
Yeah, as a kid, I kind of was just like, oh my god, this is so cool. Like, I didn't really think much about it. I was just like, oh, this is fun. I get to throw myself about. I get to flip, do all this cool stuff and everything. And I didn't really think much of it. I was just like, oh, this is really fun. So there was like absolutely no nerves until obviously I did shows and I was like, oh, now I feel nervous. But the training, I was like, oh, this is just like a fun thing to do.
That's when the nerves come out, but it shows the progression you've made, obviously, from a kid to teenage and winning championships. Now, obviously, the promotion you mentioned there, the World Association of Wrestling, WAW, is obviously the Knight family's promotion, and it's quite a well-known promotion here and loved as well by wrestlers and fans. But I feel like for a lot of people, including myself, the first introduction to that and the Knights was through the Fighting with My Family movie done. Yes. Was that for you? Obviously, you were starting younger. I don't think the age lines up there, but just for the Knights family as well, to know that they have that presence within British wrestling and it's a respected presence as well. What does it mean to you, obviously, being a part of the promotion?
Oh my god, it's incredible because there's so many stuff like within the company that have just helped me progress a lot. Like, there's so many stuff that I've done which I don't think I could have done at such a young age. Like, with the company, I started the adult training quite young. I come up to beginners when I was, I think, 11, 12. And then winning a championship, I think at 16, I think was the first time. which I don't think I could have done elsewhere, really. Like, that is incredible, being able to have such cool things to do at such a young age.
Hey, it's an accomplishment on yourself, and it's a well-deserved one as well. But obviously, you can't mention obviously the Knights, obviously mentioning Saraya, obviously formerly Paige, her time within WWE, and then moving on and returning to AEW. For yourself, Annabelle, as well. What was it like, obviously seeing Saraya return, obviously at AEW Grand Slam like over 2 years ago now as well? Was it quite a amazing experience?
Yeah, because I saw it on Instagram, so afterwards, and the pop, even to hear it like on social media, because when you're hearing like the crowd in person and then hearing it on social media, there's a massive difference. And the fact it was that loud on screen is insane.
Oh God, absolutely as well. I mean, she's also done great stuff as well. Obviously, AW All In last year, she returned to the UK and got that crowning moment as well with the whole family in the ring as well. And for someone yourself with a history with the family, to see that recognition on the big stage like AEW, it must be proud to know, because these are the people that gave you so many opportunities, and to see them kind of get their flowers within the wrestling world as well, with Saraya winning the championship, the family getting that amazing moment with 80,000 odd people in the ring. Just to detail those emotions, Annabelle, obviously somebody that's had a close association with the family and WAW, to see them get their flowers on that big stage.
That, like, again, I saw that online, and it's so cool to see people personally as well, to see them, just seeing them on like TV on screen. It's amazing to see, and they really deserve it. Like, seeing that and just seeing like the raw emotion of how happy they were when she was out there is just insane.
Hey, truly well deserved as well. Now, I know obviously Saraya's came back to WWE this year, I believe as well. Did you ever get a chance to meet her, or obviously just to have that opportunity when it must have been amazing? Did you get that opportunity?
Yeah. So they had a match. It was a lumberjack match. So we had all the girls around the outside of the ring as well for their match, and we saw her backstage, and she gave us like feedback and everything on how to improve for any extra like lumberjack match, because that was the first like match we did like that for all of us. And she's so good at how she speaks and explains things as well. It was really like interesting to know, and it helped a lot.
Right, that's great to see you passing on that knowledge and guidance has for you guys. Exceptional as well. But also, I know with WAW, there's another division for exclusively the women's Bellatrix as well. And just for our viewers, maybe not too familiar with Bellatrix, what's the the backstory with that side of the company?
So Bellatrix is the female side of WAW. So we have our own shows where it's just the whole of the female roster, and yeah, it's great. It's a opportunity for us girls to show what we can do, because obviously back then sometimes on shows you'd get about one girl match, and girls would get opportunities to have a shine and show what they can do. And Bellatrix is basically an opportunity for all the girls to get to wrestle, prove that we can wrestle just as much as anyone else can.
Right, good as well. And it's a great opportunity for the women to get that showcase, because you see it in even the current state of wrestling as well. While there's great female stars like the Mercedes Moné, Saraya, Rhea Ripley, and Liv Morgan, it seems to only still be given that one match time. You see it sometimes on Dynamite, and recently with Wrestle Dream, Bad Blood, there were two women matches, but one ended in an odd DQ situation. And there are women that have said we want more, like mid-card championships within WWE. Obviously, it's progressed so much more, obviously, with the women's revolution with WWE to now. What other elements do you think there are that women's wrestling still needs to maybe be seen by some sides of the wrestling fandom on par with the men's side?
There's, like I said, more matches. I feel like we don't have to fill the whole card with like loads of different female matches, but sometimes with women's matches they try get all girls on, so sometimes we could be put in massive matches that sometimes don't make too much sense or that. But I think girls should have their time to have several matches on a show, be able to wear what they like as well. There's a lot of outfits that girls can wear, and they get a lot of comments on it. And I wear a dress, so I can't comment too much on this. But I feel like women should be able to wear whatever they want, because when you're wrestling, you're not going to be wanting to wear so much layers of fabric. It's just going to get in the way. I know it's a nightmare. So being able to wear what we want, not getting comments, and having more matches where women can just do what they like, really, and be able to show themselves with who they are.
Absolutely. That's the great thing about wrestling, is that it's a platform to allow you to be yourself or somebody else. And it's that creative aspect of it. But obviously, you do see some sides of the wrestling fandom that are negative and toxicity. I've had many female wrestlers on before that tell them that they have to do like courses and learning of social media and how to manage either their DMs or how fans can pursue them as well, and that vision of them. For yourself, Annabelle, was there any, like, when you got into like the world of social media and like how to platform things, was there any guidance you were given on that? Because there are some, shall we say, odd fellas out there.
Yes. We did, in our training school, we did a way in which, so this isn't really social media, but to take photos. So any minute, if someone's taking a photo and you're standing there, they can do anything very quickly while you take the photo, and they can post the photo, it can go everywhere, and they could be like, it happened. So we were taught how to stand in photos to make sure we're safe and happy. With social media, really, that is just something we kind of have to learn to adapt with. I get comments, I get DMs with people saying stuff. I kind of just keep it to one side and ignore it, because but it's something you can't really avoid. It's going to happen either way. Like, it started happening when I was a lot younger as well, and you can't really do much. You just block them and call it a day, really.
That's the best thing about the block feature. It's there, and we should use it as well. But you obviously mentioned the training for like taking photos and all that. I think that's quite fascinating about like that kind of training, and that you would never think that as well. Like, of course, something could happen in that little 2-minute span, but it's good to have that kind of safety background with it as well. If you could maybe say, if there was a women's wrestler watching and she wanted to get into training, or somebody that maybe wants some knowledge on, what kind of advice would you give for them with maybe some fan interactions that they could keep themselves safe?
So with fan interactions, mainly you just got to you can kind of see what kind of person they are as they walk towards you. Most people are just fine. Like, when we do camp shows, most of it is just kids, so they're not really sure, and they're mostly awkward and fine. But then some people might get some people who are quite touchy and stuff. You just have to say to them, kind of, moved to the side. You kind of just got to be firm with them and be like, but still kind and nice, and don't be too aggressive. But you kind of have to tell them and be like, I'm sorry, I'm not very comfortable with you touching me, if that's okay. But yeah,
that's some good advice for them, and they should take that on board as well. Now, of course, as we mentioned in the beginning, you're the living dead doll, the character on that, and it's the spooky season as well. How appropriate for that. I'd love to know, what was the main pursuing of building this image as the living dead doll?
now this is weird, because this actually started years ago, but it's because when I was younger, my mum used to do my hair for all the shows, and she used to put them in these really, I don't know, they're probably like, I don't know what year, 70s, 60s, I don't know, but really tight curls to the point where they were like right up. And then because I was tiny as well, I looked like a doll. And then for some reason, I just decided that, I'm going to start coming out with a doll. And then it turned to me looking like a doll. It kind of just suddenly happened. But yeah, it was because I was really young and looked kind of like a porcelain doll. So we just kind of came up with that from there.
Aye, fair play indeed. And obviously, with dolls and horror, there's a lot of correlation with that. Once I think of, obviously, is Annabelle. Obviously, we've seen the recent with Chucky and Tiffany from the past, the Puppet Master series as well. For yourself, Annabelle, is there a particular maybe killer doll you look at and think, that's my idol in that doll space?
Probably my favorite movie with a doll is Chucky. I've got a Chucky doll as well. Yeah, I've got a Chucky, I've got Tiffany. I used to come out with Annabelle. I had an actual Annabelle doll. But I'm obsessed with horror movies. I've got a Chucky poster literally on my wall next to me. I would have to say Chucky's probably my favorite. Megan was quite a good movie. I watched that. That was actually quite cool. Robot.
That was pretty good as well, and I think it's fascinating as well. Do you maybe fear, Annabelle, that like the horror aspect of doll films could maybe be replaced by robots and AI with this current generation of the world?
Probably, yeah. Probably everything's gonna be replaced by AI. So it's not a good thing, but yeah, probably.
Oh well, I better just put in the retirement papers now. I'll probably be replaced by an AI in a suit. So
AI
there we go.
will have robots instead as well.
The future is looking very, very bleak, and how, of course, it's spooky season. We discussed it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you mentioned Chucky series being one of your favorites. Obviously, the Chucky movies have been quite phenomenal. The Child's Play series, and then the Off Chucky series, Seed of Chucky, Bride of Chucky, and now we've had obviously the Chucky TV show, which is on Sci-Fi, which sadly got cancelled this year as well. So we're leaving that story in a bit of a loop now. Is there anything you would like to see happen to the Chucky series in the future, Annabelle? Maybe a return to TV, a return to movie? Where would you like to see the franchise go?
I want to see another Chucky movie. Like bring Jennifer Tilly as well, Tiffany, and I will be happy. That's all I need. I just need Tiffany and a new Chucky movie, and I'll be happy.
Oh, fair play indeed. And it's funny with Tiffany as well, because obviously the doll has had, three iconic looks. Obviously the pre-possession one, which was the bride, then the leather jacket version, and then obviously the Seed of Chucky version. Three distinct versions of that character. Is there anyone that you think is the best look for Tiffany, Annabelle?
I like the one with the leather jacket. I think the leather jacket's a cool look, especially it just makes her look very cool.
Good look indeed as well. I know a good look can inspire some great gear as well. And I know you've had some gear inspired by not a doll, but an orphan, Esther from the Orphan series as well. Yeah, that quick tangent there. That movie, Jesus Christ, that was that was a movie and a half. But what was it about Esther's character that made you really want to go for gear inspired by her?
It's because she's an adult, basically, and she goes around pretending to be someone younger. And the movie is such a weird movie, but you just can't stop watching it because it's so cool. And I thought, obviously, because I'm quite young, it kind of links in with her pretending to be younger But I really liked her character, and I just thought I'm trying different characters out with gear. Like this is Alice in Wonderland. This gear. I've done Chucky, Esther, but yeah, might do Megan soon. But
that would be creative and well done on that. That would be something as well. Now, obviously, with Bellatrix as well, we mentioned obviously you won a championship, obviously. We've got to discuss that as well. So winning that championship, obviously the Bellatrix British Championship, that moment for you, I want to know what was it meant for you to obviously be, now the top women obviously of Bellatrix. What was that moment for you to gain that championship?
That did not feel real. Like in the moment, it took a long time for me to actually figure out that I have a belt. Like I would just go put it in my bag and I'd be looking at it like, oh yeah, that's mine. I'm like, I'm like, it was so weird, but it was so cool. And in the moment, it was a lot. It didn't feel real for a while, and then it hit, and I was like, oh wow, okay. Now I have to put in a lot more work, a lot more stuff to stay where I am and prove that I can still be deserving of keeping where I am at.
You mentioned obviously keeping it where you're at, obviously with being a championship status. When you're a champion, does your mindset change when you're a wrestler? Is there things that you look at differently or things you want to pursue differently? How does the mindset of a champion change you?
It changes you slightly. I feel there's a mindset to winning a championship. So obviously you're going to be working extra hard because you want to win a belt. You want to achieve that. And then when you've got a belt, some people might say it's a time where you can relax, but it 100% is not. You've got to keep it up. You've got to be better than what you are. You have to constantly keep improving, because if you want to keep it and you don't want to lose it, you're going to have to keep going at it, keep learning more, training more, and put more effort in.
Absolutely. Fair point indeed. And also, I know while you were champion, you faced somebody quite synonymous with obviously Bellatrix and WAW. Not Saraya, but her ma, Saraya Knight, obviously. Facing Saraya Knight, I've seen her and she's quite influential. A lot of people look up to her and what she's done for women's wrestling in the UK. But to get that opportunity and go against Saraya Knight, I want to know what was that like, that moment, the bell rings and you're against Saraya Knight.
That it was surreal, like because from having her train me from the very, very beginning, like I grew up with her. She trained me from when I was a child. She looked after me. She made sure I was safe and everything, because especially in the industry, you have to make sure you're very safe, and she was always looking out for me. She still does, still very much looks out for me. And being able to wrestle, shocking. Like, I didn't think I would have that opportunity so early on, because I think our first Beckles when I was 17 is my guess, and having a match that early on with her, it was crazy. But it was definitely one of the best matches I've ever had, because I've done so many things I wouldn't usually do, and it brought out a more aggressive side, and it was really fun. So
that's the thing about wrestling, having fun and that enjoyment aspect of it as well. And obviously last year you did quite a phenomenal run, obviously, and you won Wrestler of the Year as well for WAW. And to get that kind of accolade, that's phenomenal, and congratulations for yourself on getting that last year. I want to know, how did that whole award process go for you when obviously you were announced as the winner, the emotions that hit you?
I didn't expect it. I really didn't expect it, because I obviously I did a lot that year. I put in so much effort that year to really be the best I can, and to win an award, I was like, that's crazy, because all the girls in Bellatrix are phenomenal. Like, to even have the opportunity of winning that award, even being up there as a nominee, is insane. So to having it, because the fans were the ones who voted, to have them vote me as that, I was like, didn't me? But I was like, I really appreciate it. So it was insane. I didn't believe it, to be fair.
Great to see, honestly, as well. Now I know you've you stayed with Bellatrix and WW for, I think, the entirety of your career. You've not really wrestled anywhere outside of that. Is that like just to allow yourself that environment to grow, get familiar? Is there plans for you to venture outwards, maybe see some other promotions in the UK?
Yes, that was more of an age thing, I think, because I finished college now, but because I was in high school and college, and then venturing out is going to be quite difficult, especially when doing A levels and all that. And I ventured out. It's still with the company. I went to Wales to do a stay away camp show, which was fun. But I'm definitely going to want to start venturing out, exploring new places, exploring things, especially because I'm 18, so I can. Yeah, I'm an adult technically now, which is weird, but.
And yeah, tell you what, the knees are going to start going for me soon, and hitting that old age. So a lot of fun to look forward to in adulthood. Fun times indeed. But obviously, social media, we see wrestling platforms everywhere. You know, in Scotland, we've got like ICW, Power Pro, Community, Attitude, Wales, New Wave, No Mercy, Attack, Chaos. England, obviously the WAW. There's Progress, Rev Pro, Riot Cabaret. Are there some destinations that are immediately on your mind, Annabelle, if you want to hit and stop and be like, yeah, I'm going to make my name in this place?
The main goal is WWE, which that's my main goal to go to. But while working towards getting there, I honestly, I don't mind where I go. I want to try pretty much all of places. Like, try. I feel like just going to different destinations. So instead of staying like in one place, because there's loads of places I'd like to visit, like loads of different countries as well. I think traveling is going to be like the very cool part of it, which I want to do.
Fair play indeed. And I think any promotion to have the Living Dead doll on their roster will be truly blessed to have that opportunity that you give them. Truly, truly. Obviously, you mentioned your goal there is to get to WWE and that big opportunity. For yourself, obviously, we've seen sort of a doll character before in Little Bliss. Alexa Bliss has done this before, obviously, with The Fiend. If we can maybe have that match up for a doll on a pole match or a doll on a cage, the final doll against you and Bliss, would that be something we can maybe see? Would that something you'd be interested in?
Imagine that, like, it's like Money in the Bank, but we have a doll hanging from the thing instead, and you have to go. Whoever grabs the doll gets to keep the doll. Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be so cool. Like, I don't know how, but that sounds awesome.
Maybe a bit Vince Russo, but you know what? Fun. It'll be funny. I think that'll be absolute class as well. But hey, even a tag team of you two, like
Yeah.
doll twins or something like that. You come out as like the girls from The Shining.
I was going to say that Shining.
That's just a fascinating aspect. But I think as well with wrestling is that there's no real horror aspect to it. Obviously, you have Finn Balor as the demon when he comes out sometimes. You have AEW with the House of Black. But there's no real a character that I think a lot of people fear. And I feel that's something we're really missing. Do you think we're missing that fear aspect from wrestling in modern day?
Yeah, because there's wrestlers that come out, and as soon as you hear their song, you're like, oh my God. Like, I went to Butlins for a holiday when I was younger, and WWE came to Butlins, which is why we went. And I remember hearing the Wyatt's Family song. And I don't know how young I was, but I remember literally running. I was so scared. Like, from watching them on the TV, I ran, which is weird because now I do a horror character and I'm like, yeah. But I feel like, yeah, we're definitely missing a lot of the horror, like true fear. There's characters. I feel like even with mine, there's not necessarily true fear when people come out. I feel Annabelle could turn into a more creepy dynamic, but as a babyface at the moment, she's kind of not scaring the fans. She's more just trying to just play with the person in the ring and just, yeah, make them feel scared.
Yeah, fair point indeed. But I truly believe horror can work, especially on the women's side. You know, somebody I think of on the top of my head is obviously Abaddon with AEW and ROH. Has that creepy vibe and the horror aspect with the look and the blood from like the mouth and the like, just that whole horror aspect for yourself. Annabelle, you mentioned obviously you're on the side of good right now. You're on that side, but you know, allegiances can change. The dark side is very tempting for people. How would you like to see Annabelle enter that darkness phase again? Would you like to change things up, or is there anything in your mind that you think of as like, if I want to be taken as fear itself, this is how I would do it?
So to lose the doll, I came out with a doll. That was when she was a heel, and she came out with a doll. She basically possessed by the doll. So if anyone threw the doll, Annabelle would go flying as well. So anything the doll did, she did. So we had a rumble spot where Princess threw the doll over the top rope, expecting me to go over the top rope. It didn't happen. Just started attacking her completely, went insane. And that was the moment where she broke away from the doll. So to turn back into maybe a heel, the doll could participate again in a spot. I don't know how it'll be involved. Maybe under the ring, go find the doll, pull it out. But I don't know if the doll will ever come back. But to go heel again, I would either turn full doll and just creepiness. But yeah.
Oh, think about it, Bill. You can make your entrance and you can make that next generation of kids run away from you in fear of your theme.
Yeah.
Horror's a funny old thing as well, but I want to take it from the wrestling aspect to the movies now. Obviously, we talk about the Chucky franchises, but a horror film that came out very recently featuring, you know, Chris Jericho, Terrifier 3. The Terrifier franchises is quite intense for some people. Art the Clown, obviously, becoming this new age of horror icons. And it does very successfully in the box office as well. I think it's nearing 2 million or 5 million in preview screenings as well, which is like, horror's back on the menu, boys. Yes, absolutely love it. For yourself, Annabelle, to see this maybe resurgence of horror with obviously films like the Terrifier franchises, can we see this new age of horror reemerge soon?
Yeah, I feel like it can, because especially because it's nearly Halloween, a lot of the horror movies and horror is coming back. But it sadly does seem to drift very quickly after Halloween as we go in. I love Christmas as well, but Halloween is like my favorite holiday. Absolutely. I think especially around Halloween time, all the horror comes back up again, but it doesn't stay for long. So I'm hoping that it can stay. They've made a lot of good horror movies not around this time as well. So I think it's starting to appear again recently, a lot more than it used to.
Absolutely as well. And I know obviously with Hollywood, they do like their remakes. Obviously,
Yeah.
Child Play got a remake, Friday the 13th remake, Nightmare on Elm Street remake. But is there a particular horror franchise that you think could actually benefit from a full-blown remake?
Maybe not a full remake, but a horror franchise I really like that I keep watching at the moment is Scream.
Oh,
The first Scream movie is one of my absolute favorites, and I just keep watching it recently. It's so good. So I also made a very bad impulse purchase when I went to Norwich, and I bought a Ghostface outfit, and so it was a bad purchase. But it's okay. I'm on a mannequin or something and just scared.
It wasn't Break the Bank bad, or was it like
No, but yeah, no, it was one. It's like 2 of my wages.
oh. So we're not in the territory of pot noodles for meals 3 times a day. So we're
not quite popular yet, but maybe soon if I keep making horror purchases.
What else is on the purchase list? Is there something in that eBay watch list you're thinking of? And it's like, I could so buy this.
VHS tapes at the moment also as well, horror ones. I can't afford those. I'm looking at crazy prices. I'm like, oh my gosh. Some people sound like tape. I'm like, I can't justify that.
I mean, Halloween's close to Christmas. Everybody deserves a little Christmas gift themselves. I mean, balances out. But hey, who knows there, Annabelle? Annabelle, honestly, it's been a pleasure to have you on here for the Soul Sessions and the time of the spooky month. Before we go, obviously, a little question for you. You mentioned the goal is to get to WWE. I kind of proposed the Alexa Bliss sort of doll match. But if you could give 5 women on the current WWE roster that you would like to have a match with, what particular 5 would you want to have a match with?
Oh, okay. Rhea Ripley. I feel like I'd get absolutely annihilated though, because but it would be fun while I'm at it. So see, there's a lot of like old wrestlers I can think of that would be cool. I'm gonna go back to old ones because
Go.
Well, Victoria. I met her when I was younger, and she's the nicest person literally ever. She's so sweet. So I would love a match against her. Lita.
Oh.
Mickey James would be a good one. To be honest, Liv Morgan should be quite a good match to have. I feel like our styles could be actually quite cool together. And I'd have to say, Paige, because I feel like it would probably be AJ Lee versus her 2.0, but it would be quite cool.
Hey, that would be something fun indeed. But I need to ask, are you Team Rhea or Team Liv? The internet seems to be very split on this, supporting one woman or the other. Whose team are you on, Annabelle?
I really don't know. Like, I'm watching it. This is such a hard question. Oh God, I don't know. I don't think I can pick.
Hey.
There's so many different factors where I'm like, I could pick this one or I could pick her, but I'm like, maybe really, but that might just be me being biased because she kind of gives off a horror vibe as well.
A good pick, and all the Liv Morgan fans can get angry in the corner, and all the that's the fun. Well, folks, if you enjoyed this episode of the Soul Session with Annabelle, I will include a link to Annabelle's Instagram down below. Check her out. Follow the journey of the living dead doll, whether it's in WAW, Bellatrix, or beyond. Well, folks, finish up your pints, get the trick or treat on, go out and get some candy because the spooky season is upon us. Thank you, folks.